So this right here is the number of animals that are killed every single minute of every single day around the globe. Look at these numbers. These are the numbers of animals killed per minute, every minute of every day around the globe. In the United States, every single day, 30 million animals are forced into slaughterhouses. 30 million animals every single day across the United States are forced into slaughterhouses. They do not go into those slaughterhouses willingly, but they're being forced into those slaughterhouses over your food preferences. If you're not vegan, they are the reason, you're the reason why they are being slaughtered. And, you know, for every single non-vegan product you consume, which is probably like every breakfast, every lunch, every dinner, even your desserts, if they contain eggs and or dairy, involves killing animals. Because those dairy cows have to be pregnant before they will start to lactate. So they are forcibly impregnated, and then once they give birth, their babies are stolen from them shortly afterwards. If those babies are boys, they are typically either sold to the veal industry or they are sold to the beef industry. And they're all slaughtered very, very young. Veal calves are slaughtered at just a few weeks of age, but even beef cattle are only 1 year old when they're slaughtered. They can live over 20 years, but they're killed at just 1 year old. So yeah, if you're against animal cruelty, you need to go vegan. You need to go vegan now. Otherwise, you're responsible for this massacre. You cannot say you're an animal lover when you're literally funding the massacre of animals. Again, for those of you just tuning in, this is the number of animals that are slaughtered every single minute of every single day around the globe. So yeah, you cannot claim to be an animal lover if you're not vegan, because you're literally participating in this atrocity of having animals massacred ceaselessly for your food preferences. You're not a friend to the animals. You're their worst enemy. You're their worst enemy. I mean, seriously, I'm just stating facts. I mean, there's a reason why I went vegan. And it's not because I didn't like eating cheeseburgers. It's not because I didn't like eating bacon. It's not because I didn't like eating filet mignon and porterhouse steaks. I went vegan because I realized that animals were being tortured and killed over my food preferences. And I always claimed to be an animal lover. But I realized that I was actually an animal abuser. That I was literally paying people to do some of the most atrocious things to animals. So I realized I had to go vegan. And you don't have to be an animal lover to realize you need to be vegan. You just have to understand that it's not okay to abuse someone. Like, you know, I hope you understand it's not okay to abuse a child. And if you understand that it's not okay to abuse a child, then I think it's easy to comprehend that, yeah, it's not okay to abuse animals either. And yeah, these animals are being horrifically abused. How is stabbing someone in their throat not extreme animal abuse? I mean, seriously. Because all of these animals are stabbed in their throat. They either are stabbed in their throat to sever their jugular vein, or they have their throat slashed to sever their jugular vein, to bleed them out before they are butchered. They have to be bled out before they're butchered. So they are either stabbed in their throat to sever their jugular vein, or they have their throat slashed to sever their jugular vein, to bleed them out before they are butchered. How is that not animal abuse? How is that not animal abuse? Like, I'm sure you understand if somebody was to kick a pig, to punch a pig, that would be animal abuse. But, oh, stab them in their throat, that's okay. Well, as long as you take a bullet gun to their head first, you know. So, you know, that monster that set that dog, Riona, on fire, if he would have taken a bolt gun to her before he set her on fire, would that have then made it okay for him to do what he did? Then how does it make it okay, you know, to kill a pig? Oh, well, as long as you take a bolt gun to them first. Those animals do not want to die for your food preferences. And you do not need to consume animal flesh or secretions to be healthy. So why are you participating in this atrocity? That's literally destroying the planet, in case you don't know. Animal agriculture is causing the 6th mass extinction. It is. And I don't want you to take my word for anything that I say. I want you to look into this further on your own. Animal agriculture is literally causing the 6th mass extinction. Animal agriculture is the leading cause of deforestation, species extinction, water pollution, water depletion, ocean dead zones, ocean plastics, fisheries depletion, pandemics, world hunger, and climate change. And again, this is the number of animals that are killed per minute, every minute of every day around the globe. So to kill chickens at this rate per minute, do you realize how many chickens actually have to be in existence at any given time? Yeah, we're talking like 20 billion chickens to be slaughtered at this rate per minute. We're talking like 20 billion chickens need to be on hand at any given moment to be able to slaughter them at the rate of almost 90,000 chickens per minute. Because it takes like 6 weeks to fatten a chicken for slaughter. And they have to be fed day after day after day after day after day after day after day for 6 weeks. They have to be given water day after day after day after day. These animals produce a lot of waste. And it takes as much as 6 pounds of grains to get just 1 pound of poultry in return. And cattle raised for beef, in case you don't know. Most cattle raised for beef are actually on feedlots being fed grains. And they're raised for about 12 to 22 months before they're slaughtered. Yeah, cattle raised for beef are slaughtered at 1 year old. They can live over 20 years. They're fed day after day after day after day, month after month after month after month for like 12 to 22 months before they're slaughtered. Takes as much as 16 pounds of grains to get just 1 pound of beef in return. So yeah, to raise all of these animals for slaughter takes an enormous amount of resources to feed all of these animals, all of these ceaseless tens of billions of animals, to be able to slaughter them at this rate per minute. An enormous amount of resources. Animal agriculture is the leading cause of deforestation. Every second, an acre of land is slashed and burned, and it is mainly to graze and grow food for livestock. Most of those fires in the Amazon are intentionally set by cattle ranchers because it's a quick and easy way to clear the land to graze cattle. And 80% of the soybean crop that is grown to feed livestock. Only about 6% of the soybean crop that is grown to produce products like tofu. And what's being fed to these animals is the GMO soy, the GMO corn. If you notice on the plant-based meat alternatives, like the Gardein products, they are GMO free. I don't consume GMOs. I steer clear of GMOs. And GMOs are what is killing off the bees and the butterflies. Because all of these animals, this is the rate of slaughter per minute. So literally right now, there are tens of billions of animals being raised for their flesh and secretions to be able to slaughter them at this rate per minute. Tens of billions of animals. And these animals have to be fed. They are mostly fed GMO corn and or GMO soy. Those crops are genetically modified. Thank you for that. Those crops are genetically modified so that they can be sprayed with Monsanto's Roundup. So that every non-GMO plant growing within all of those ceaseless and endless thousands of acres of land All of those non-GMO plants are killed except the genetically modified corn, the genetically modified soy. Those weeds that Roundup is killing is actually food for bees and butterflies. Is the larval host plant, like milkweed, being killed after it's sprayed with Roundup. Milkweed is the host plant for the monarch butterflies. The Roundup is killing off the milkweed, killing off the monarch butterflies in return. So yeah, non-vegans are not just responsible for the killing, the mass killing, the ceaseless mass killing of all of these animals, pigs, cows, chickens, ducks, sheep, goats. You're also responsible for the mass killing of the bees and the butterflies. You're also responsible for the mass killing of wild American horses. Because in case you don't know, wild American horses are being rounded up by the thousands each and every year. They are competition. They are competition to cattle. So with our money, the U.S. government, on behalf of the animal agriculture industry, they round up thousands and thousands and thousands of wild American horses each year. Remove these horses from public lands so that cattle can graze these public lands instead. And like you can see here, some of these horses have babies with them. Some of these foals die of exhaustion trying to keep up with their mothers as they're being chased down by these helicopters. Let me see if I have a better picture of this. There's another down here at the bottom left of the screen. Yeah, these helicopters terrorize these horses. These horses are rounded up by the thousands each and every year with our own tax dollars by the U.S. government on behalf of cattle ranchers so that cattle ranchers can maximize their profits so that their livestock animals, their cattle, don't have these horses to compete with for food resources and water resources. These horses end up in government holding facilities. And then from there, they are typically auctioned off. And it's kill buyers who are buying these horses up cheap at auction, and then they ship them into Canada, ship them into Mexico, where it is legal for them to be slaughtered for horse meat. So yeah, not only are you having chickens and pigs and cows killed for your food preferences, you're also having wild American horses killed so you can eat a steak. You're also having wolves, cougars, bears, bobcats, coyotes, lynxes, foxes killed intentionally over your food preferences if you're not vegan, because those animals are a threat to livestock. So they are killing those animals by the millions each year. So you cannot claim to be an animal lover if you're not vegan. You cannot even claim to be a nature lover if you're not vegan, because you're literally supporting an industry that is massacring just about every animal there is. Farmed animals being massacred for your food, for your food preferences intentionally. Wild animals being massacred intentionally for your food preferences. Bees, butterflies going extinct because of your choice to consume animal products, because those animals are being fed genetically modified corn and genetically modified soy, which is sprayed with Monsanto's Roundup, which is killing off all of the non-GMO plants growing on all of those ceaseless thousands of acres of land. Killing off all of the non-GMO plants, which is everything but the genetically modified corn and the genetically modified soy. Plants that are host foods for butterflies, nectar sources for the bees and the butterflies. Non-vegans are literally causing the 6th mass extinction, and I'm not even exaggerating. I'm not even exaggerating. Even researchers at Oxford University, after doing an extensive study of over 40,000 farms, just look up Joseph Poor's study. Joseph Poor and other researchers at Oxford University did an extensive study of over 40,000 farms and concluded that animal agriculture is so environmentally destructive, going vegan is the best way to save the planet, and that if the world went vegan, land totaling the size of Africa could be freed up, because that is how much land is needed to graze and grow food for all of these ceaseless tens of billions of animals that are needed to keep up with the demand for animal flesh and animal secretions. And again, we do not need to consume the flesh of animals or their secretions to be healthy. In fact, a whole foods plant-based diet is the best diet for human health. Can even significantly reduce the risk of cancer, heart disease, kidney disease, cerebrovascular disease, causing another pandemic like swine flu, bird flu, mad cow disease, COVID. Yeah, right now, in case you don't know, COVID was started by a non-vegan. Not by a vegan, by a non-vegan. Somebody eating an animal carcass started this pandemic. We would not be in a pandemic right now if the world was vegan. If Christians followed God's dietary plan on the very first page of the Bible, Genesis 1:29. And God said, "Behold, I have given you every herb-bearing seed which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed, to you it shall be for meat. Thou shalt not kill." That is a commandment. And there are no exceptions listed next to that commandment. We are not living in a time where there was a catastrophic flood that wiped out all the vegetation, and we're in survival mode with limited food resources. We have never lived in a time where we have access to so many plant-based food options as we do nowadays. And the plant-based food options are so much better for our health, so much so that, a whole foods plant-based diet can significantly reduce your risk of cancer, heart disease, kidney disease, cerebrovascular disease, some of the most common and most deadly diseases known to man. It just makes no sense to not be vegan. Makes no sense to not be vegan. Why do you hate vegans? Why do you hate people who refrain from harming animals? That doesn't make sense. So you're an animal abuser? Is that what it is? Because that makes no sense for you to say that you hate vegans. Because me being vegan, all that means is that I am someone who refrains from harming animals. I am someone who refrains from paying people to harm animals. Don't hate me for just telling you the truth. Yeah, see, what I think it is not that you really hate vegans. I think you just hate the truth. You hate the fact that the animal agriculture industry is so violent and destructive. And you say that you hate me because I'm the one here bringing it to your attention that animal agriculture is very extremely cruel and very extremely environmentally destructive. But you don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear the truth, because for you to accept the truth would mean that you need to go vegan. And then for some reason you think, oh, going vegan is like impossible or something. Or, you're afraid if you go vegan, your friends and family are going to harass you like you see me being harassed constantly on my live streams. Just comment after comment after comment after comment of people just saying ignorant things, defending animal abuse, making fun of vegans, and you don't want to be made fun of. So you're like, deep down inside, I'm right. You need to go vegan, but you're just afraid, like you're going to be bullied, like other vegans are bullied. But you should do what's right. You should do what is right, and you should stop paying people to stab animals in their throats. Because literally, every time you purchase a non-vegan product, you're literally paying somebody to stab an animal in their throat. I'm literally just stating facts. Yeah, the facts are not nice. The facts are not nice. If you're not vegan, you're literally paying people to stab animals in their throat. That is a fact. And even for dairy products, you're literally, now I understand that's not your intention, okay? But that is what is actually happening in the dairy industry. Standard practice in the dairy industry, because those dairy cows do not automatically produce milk. Those dairy cows produce milk because they are mothers. They are forcibly impregnated to get them to start lactating. Within hours of those dairy cows giving birth, their babies are stolen from them so that the mother and the baby do not bond with one another. Those babies are put in tiny little pens like this. Most of them are kept outside. So yeah, if they're up north and there's a blizzard, which there's been snowstorm after snowstorm after snowstorm, they're out there being buried in snow. And if these calves are male, they are going to either be sold off to the veal industry or sold off to the beef industry and slaughtered between a few weeks to a few months old. Like even beef cattle, slaughtered between 12 to 22 months old. So by their second birthday, none of these male calves are going to live to their second birthday, when they could actually live over 20 years. Yeah, so they have a knife shoved in their throat. So yeah, even for you to be able to consume dairy products, for you to be able to consume the stolen baby food of these calves, the male calves are all sent to slaughter and stabbed in their throat so you can consume their stolen baby food. And the mothers, the dairy cows themselves, are sent to slaughter when they can no longer produce enough milk to be profitable. Again, they can live over 20 years, but in the dairy industry, at around 5 years of age is when their milk production plummets, because their body can't keep up producing 10 times more milk than is normal for them. Because yeah, those dairy cows are forced to produce like as much as 10 times more milk than natural. So yeah, that puts a lot of stress on their bodies. And by the time they're about 5 years old, their bodies can no longer keep up with that kind of milk production. So then they're no longer profitable to the dairy farmer. So then the dairy farmer sends them off to a slaughterhouse to be stabbed in their throat. So yes, for dairy products even, you're having animals stabbed in their throat. How is that not animal cruelty? That's extreme animal cruelty. And even for eggs, you're having little male chicks ground up alive, because at the hatcheries where all egg-laying hens come from, they cannot determine the sex of the chicks until they hatch. So upon hatching, they sort the males and they put them through a macerator, which grinds them up alive. If you would not support an industry that grinds up puppies alive, if you would not support an industry that grinds up kittens alive, why on earth are you supporting the egg industry that grinds up little male chicks alive as soon as they hatch? And the egg-laying hens themselves are sent to slaughter at about 1.5 years of age, because they're forced to produce about 10 times more eggs than is natural. So that puts a lot of stress on their bodies. So by the time they're about 1.5 years of age, their bodies can no longer keep up with that kind of egg production. So then they become useless to the egg industry, and then they are sent to slaughter. And they have their throats slashed to sever their jugular vein, to bleed them out before they're butchered for pet food or for chicken soup. Those birds can live over 7 years, but the egg-laying hens only make it to about 1.5 years, and then they're sent to slaughter. So even for eggs, you're having little male chicks ground up alive, and those egg-laying hens, they have their throats slashed, heads hacked off. And yeah, if you're a pescatarian, yeah, it's not just the targeted marine animals that are being caught and sold for seafood. Non-targeted animals end up getting caught up in those fishing nets, like turtles, sea lions, dolphins, whales, shorebirds. They get entangled in these nets and the ghost fishing nets that get left behind by the commercial fishing industry. And hundreds of thousands, if not millions of them, die every year for you to be able to consume seafood. And researchers estimate that by 2048, our oceans are going to be fishless. Thou shalt not kill is a commandment, and there are no exceptions listed next to that commandment. Thou shalt not kill. And on the very first page of the Bible, Genesis 1:29, God's dietary plan for us is to be vegan. Genesis 1:29, and God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. Romans 14:21, it is good not to eat flesh. Isaiah 11:6 through 9, the wolf will lay with the lamb, and there will be no more harm. So why do you want to cause harm when there's no need to? When you could actually be better off on a plant-based diet? So much so that, you'd be significantly reducing your risk of cancer and heart disease, 2 of the leading causes of death. Well, actually, no, I'm not religious. But every day I have people claiming that their God put animals here for us to eat. So yeah, I don't believe in God, but I do believe in good. Good does exist. Evil does exist. I am vegan because I am against evil. I don't care if you're Christian or not. You need to be made aware that this industry is literally the most evil industry ever. So if you're truly a Christian, you are supporting evil when you consume animal products. That's just a fact. Slaughterhouses are the most unholy places on this planet. And for you to say that your God put animals here for us to eat, what you're saying is that your God is the reason why slaughterhouses exist. Yeah, why don't you pay a visit to a slaughterhouse? They are the most unholy places on the planet. And in case you don't know, the very first step in producing animal products, all animal products, the industry terms it artificial insemination. But if you would just, stop making your anti-vegan comments for a moment and go look this up. Go look this up, because there are instructional videos put out by the industry itself, put out by the poultry industry, put out by the beef industry, the dairy industry, the honey industry even. Yeah, they're even doing this with bees. The salmon industry, yeah, they're even doing this with fish. They term it artificial insemination. But if you look up artificial insemination of animals, and you see how they collect the semen for that so-called artificial insemination process, you will understand that it is bestiality. So if you're religious, look at what your Bible says about bestiality. It is a major sin, and it is a sin you are committing every single time you consume a non-vegan product. Because the first step in consuming any animal product that is on store shelves or on those restaurant menus, the very first step, and just look it up. I don't take my word for it. Just look it up. I want you to look this up, because there are instructional videos put out by the industry itself. Look up artificial insemination of cows, pigs, chickens, fish, bees. Look it up, because you will find all kinds of instructional videos put out by the industry itself showing how they collect semen from the male animals for that so-called artificial insemination process to take place. They literally sexually stimulate the male animals to force them to ejaculate, so that they can force that semen into the female animals to get them pregnant. So that they, like in the pork industry, they will have the little piglets that are raised for their flesh so you can have bacon. And in the dairy industry, they masturbate bulls, or they will literally shove an electro-ejaculator in their anus to sexually stimulate them, to get them to ejaculate, to collect the semen so they can force it into the dairy cow's vagina. And she doesn't consent to this. I understand that, well, she's a dairy cow. She can't give consent. Nobody should be shoving semen into anybody's vagina, okay? Unless they consent, unless they can consent, and they do consent. I mean, this industry should be banned just on that alone. The sexual violation of animals is step one in the process of producing all animal products. And like I said, in the dairy industry, they're masturbating bulls to get them to ejaculate so they can shove that semen into the vaginas of unconsenting dairy cows to get them pregnant so that they will start to lactate. All for the sick, evil purpose of stealing their newborn babies from them so they can steal that newborn baby's baby food and sell it to you for profit. And then people are like, you vegans are crazy. Oh, well, if it's crazy that I don't pay people to sexually abuse animals and steal and kill their babies, so I can eat their body parts and their stolen baby food, well, I'm glad that I'm crazy. Yeah, you know, if that's what being crazy is, I'm glad I'm crazy, and I will stay crazy. If being normal is literally funding an atrocity so atrocious that if that atrocity was committed against humans, they would be acts of rape, kidnapping, theft, and murder. Yeah, I mean, I just don't understand how people don't understand how evil this industry is. Why you want to defend this industry. It's bizarre. It's really bizarre that so many people, like every time I go live, just like most of the comments are just anti-vegan comments. It's just weird. Just weird. Respond to what? What should I be responding to? And let you join my live stream so you can clown around? So you can fucking clown around. No, I'm not letting you join my live stream so you can clown around about this atrocity. This is an atrocity. And there's no argument in defense of this. No argument whatsoever. Just like I would not let somebody come onto my live stream to try to debate me about child abuse, trying to convince me that, oh, it is okay to abuse a child in certain situations. No, it's never okay to abuse a child. Just the same, it's never okay to abuse an animal just because you find their flesh tasty after, yeah, you douse that slaughtered gore with herbs and spices. Oh yeah, report yourself. And here, I'm going to do a screenshot of that because that is my face you're using as your profile. And yeah, that is my face you're using as your profile. That's just proof that obviously, you know, I'm doing something right here. That you are so hell-bent on getting me banned and harassing me. Yeah, so yeah, I get a lot of hate because people don't want to hear the truth. That's what it is. People don't want to hear the truth. I am right, and what is happening to these animals is wrong. And, you know, you can try your hardest to act like I'm the bad guy, but I'm not the one paying people to just ceaselessly mass torture and kill innocent creatures over my food preferences. You know, so you can hate me all you want. I mean, that doesn't mean shit to me. Coming from someone who's literally defending such extreme animal cruelty, like literally all day, every day. If you're not vegan, for every single non-vegan product you consume, you're having so many animals harmed. Not just the cows and pigs and chickens and fish. You're literally having wild animals tortured and killed too. All kinds of non-targeted marine animals suffer and die for you to be able to consume seafood. And you're acting like I'm the bad guy because I'm refraining from causing harm to these animals. Here's somebody else's side. Like, I'm literally talking about an atrocity here. And you, like, are trying to say that, no, it's okay to grind up little male chicks alive. It's okay to steal newborn babies off their mothers and keep them in a tiny pen out in a fucking blizzard. Yeah, and yeah, this is what you're defending. This right here is a dairy farmer who operates a small family dairy farm. And just a week ago, he did a YouTube video. This is a screenshot of his video from a dairy farmer himself. He goes into his barn where his pregnant dairy cows are, and his one dairy cow had just given birth to this little calf. And out of this man's own mouth, he says the temperature that night, or the wind chill that night, is dropping to minus 20 degrees. He takes this little newborn baby off of his mother outside. The calf was just inside a barn with his mother. Takes this little calf outside. When out of his own mouth, he says the wind chill is dropping to minus 20 below zero. In case you don't know, anything below zero is life-threatening to a newborn calf. Anything below 20 or anything below zero is life-threatening to a newborn calf. And he says the wind chill is dropping to minus 20 that night. So he takes this newborn calf off of his mother from inside the barn and puts him outside. And he also says that this is a male, so he's only going to keep him 10 days, and then he's going to sell him off to the beef industry. So he'll be slaughtered at 1 year old. When he could actually live over 20 years, this little baby will be slaughtered at 1 year old for beef. So if he's only keeping this calf for 10 days, why can't he just let this little baby stay in that barn with his mother? Why does he literally take this baby within hours of this baby being born, put this baby outside when the wind chill is going to drop to minus 20 degrees? Because it's standard practice in the dairy industry that they take the newborn calves off their mothers soon after they're born so that that mother and baby do not bond with one another. So that when he sells this little male calf off to the beef industry in 10 days, that dairy cow doesn't get so depressed that she stops eating and then her milk production plummets. And also so that this little baby doesn't interfere with that dairy cow going into the milking parlor a couple times a day to be milked. And so that this little baby doesn't suck any of this dairy farmer's profits from that dairy cow. It's really, really heinous. Really, really heinous. I'm so glad I'm vegan. The only thing I regret about going vegan is that I did not do it sooner, but it was only because I did not know better. I did not know better. I was not taught better. That's why it took me 42 years before I went vegan. Oh, I'm making somebody really, really mad. I'm making somebody really, really mad. And now somebody's going to do a screenshot of my face with a gun to my head. Wow, that's going to be a good one. That's going to be a good one to report. That's going to be a very good one to report. Are you fucking threatening me? Are you fucking threatening me? Yeah, why are people so violent towards me? Like, seriously, all these people want me dead. People telling me, go walk out in front of a semi-truck. Why don't you off yourself? Why hasn't somebody offed you yet? I get all this hate for simply defending animals. And everybody else on this live stream in the comment section, all they want to do is defend the animal abusers. Defend animal abuse. That's what you're doing. You're literally taking the side of the oppressor. You're literally taking the side of the victimizer. I am on the victim's side. All you have to do to determine if something is right or wrong is determine if you want that same thing done to you. And look at this person. Look at these people calling me a Karen. That hurts so bad coming from someone who's literally defending the abuse of animals. You know, I would rather be a Karen than an animal abuser. And how can you tell? How can you tell if somebody is an animal abuser? What's a really good way? What's a really good way to tell if somebody is an animal abuser? Yeah, don't worry. They'll make fun of you because you're not. So you're literally making fun of me because I'm not an animal abuser. That's what it comes down to. You're literally hating on me because I'm not an animal abuser. That's why you hate me, because I'm not an animal abuser, and you understand that what you're doing is animal abuse. You're literally paying people to abuse animals. So yeah, if you pay the hitman, you are the murderer. If you don't like the facts, then go vegan. That just means you need to be vegan. If it's really making you that mad that I'm, just literally stating facts, that if you're not vegan, you're an animal abuser, you just need to stop crying about it and go vegan already. Because, yeah, I would think if you are a real animal abuser, it wouldn't bother you. You just ignore me. You would just ignore me. But for some reason, you can't just ignore me. Like, you could very easily ignore me, like you ignore the fact that you pay people to steal little babies off of their mothers and put them out in sub-zero weather where they fucking freeze to death. Yeah, look at my last video that I posted a few hours ago. Check that video out that I just posted. It's coming from cattle ranchers up north that literally stated that there are calves freezing to death because of the weather. And yeah, if the calves in the beef industry are freezing to death up north, well, obviously the calves in the dairy industry that are up in the same area, they're freezing to death too. And this is what you're supporting and defending, and acting like I'm the bad guy because I'm saying these animals should not be put in this situation to begin with. These animals are being force-bred into existence. These animals are not native animals. Like, oh, well, what do you think this animal would be doing out in the wild? This animal doesn't exist in the wild. And this animal was just in a barn with their mother. And he just put this little baby outside, went out of his own mouth. He said the wind chill is dropping to -20. And anything below 0 degrees is life-threatening to a newborn calf. So he's literally taking this baby off his mother because he does not want that mother and baby to bond. And because he wants all of that baby's mother's food that she gives for his nourishment, he wants to have all of that to sell to you for profit. And it's just ridiculous that you're all here just to defend this cruelty. And you're not a baby. It's pathetic you don't realize that. Cow's milk is baby food for baby cows. You're not a baby. Your mother's not a cow. So just get a grip on reality and go vegan already. Yeah, well, you can ignore me like the fact you ignore what you're doing to these animals. Having newborn babies stolen off their mothers and put out in sub-zero weather to freeze to death. Like, you can so easily ignore that all day, every day. You can so easily ignore the suffering you're causing these animals. But for some reason, you can't ignore me. You can't ignore me. Like, you could just scroll through. You don't even have to watch my live. Nobody's forcing you to watch my live stream. But for some reason, you have to comment and say such nasty things. And these people that keep on creating these accounts to clearly harass and bully me and get me banned from this platform. Just for me speaking up for these victims. I mean, that's ridiculous. So yeah, if anybody out there is on the side of the animals and not the animal abusers, give me a follow so that I know that you're out there, that there's actually people watching my live stream who are actually on the same side as I am, on the side of the animals. Because it looks like just everybody in the comment section is just people who are defending animal abuse. And if you think it's okay to slaughter animals, you should have to work in the slaughterhouses slaughtering these animals yourself if you see nothing wrong with killing animals. What am I lying about? What am I lying about? Well, what do you think? That the animals commit suicide for your food? That they live a long life and just die naturally for your food? Like, I don't understand. Like, dairy cows automatically produce milk? Like, what am I lying about exactly? Like, it's pathetic. You don't understand that dairy cows have to be pregnant before they will start to produce milk. They actually produce milk because they're mothers, not because they're dairy cows. And that their babies are stolen from them as soon as they're born. That's standard practice throughout the entire dairy industry throughout the world. That you don't understand that slaughterhouses are real. And all of these animals that are being slaughtered for your food preferences are baby animals. Pigs are just 6 months old when they are slaughtered. They can live over 10 years. Chickens are just 6 weeks old when they're slaughtered. They can live over 7 years. Even cattle raised for beef are only 12 to 22 months old when they're slaughtered. They can live over 20 years. And this image right here, this is a screenshot of an undercover investigation of a slaughterhouse where they are slaughtering the male calves taken off the dairy cows, because mostly those calves are sold to the veal industry. This is the veal industry. This is a male calf about to be slaughtered so that you can either eat his flesh or so that you can consume his stolen baby food, or both. Now, report yourself for animal cruelty. If you pay the hitman, you are the murderer. It's just ridiculous that, nobody should be able to report somebody for just simply using this platform to raise awareness and state facts about the standard practices of the animal agriculture industry. And again, this is a screenshot of an undercover investigation at a slaughterhouse where they are slaughtering the male calves taken off the dairy cows. Look at this baby's face. Look at this baby's face. He's clearly traumatized. This is a newborn baby. He should be with his mother, not in a slaughterhouse about to have his head hacked off. But because you want to consume his stolen baby food, so you can have a cheese pizza, so you can have ice cream because you refuse to eat a vegan pizza, vegan ice cream, this little baby dies. That's not right. Sending an innocent creature, an innocent baby, to a slaughterhouse over your food preferences. Don't even tell me you are pro-life. Don't even tell me you are pro-life. You are not pro-life if you are not vegan. You are not pro-life. You might be pro-human embryo, but you're not pro-life. You're literally destroying life with every single non-vegan product you consume. This is not right. Thou shalt not kill is a commandment. There are no exceptions listed next to that. I don't see how anybody can think that God put animals on this planet for us to do these evil things to. I mean, seriously, if you think God put animals here for us to eat, go work in this slaughterhouse, killing these animals yourself, and be proud because you're doing God's work. Yeah, to say that God is the reason, well, if God is good, like I said, I don't even believe in God, but I believe in good. Good does exist. So when I talk about God, I'm talking about good. Good does exist. Evil, unfortunately, does exist. I am vegan because I'm against evil. This is fucking evil. Sending a newborn baby into a slaughterhouse to have his head hacked off so you can consume his stolen baby food, that is pure evil. That is pure evil. Oh, look, they're back with another account. They just can't stop it. Every time I block this person or people, I don't know, maybe it's multiple people, they keep on creating these accounts using my face as their profile picture. Huh. Obviously, I'm making somebody mad with the truth. Don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me. Be mad at yourself for supporting such cruelty. Yeah, why am I making people so mad? I mean, I'm literally just stating facts. I'm literally just stating facts, and these people are like so mad. Now, I'm not letting somebody come onto my live stream, especially when all you want to do is clown around and defend animal abuse. There's no excuse for this. No justification for what you're doing to these animals. None whatsoever. You're not coming on my live stream to clown around. Genesis 9:3, every moving thing that lives shall be food for you. Well, guess what? Animals are not things. Animals are not things. And humans are animals, in case you don't know. Humans are animals. So are we supposed to be eating each other? Really? You think we're supposed to be eating koala bears and panda bears and giraffes and tarantulas and cockroaches and worms because they all move? Thou shalt not kill means be vegan. There is no exception listed next to that commandment. Thou shalt not steal means be vegan. There are no exceptions listed next to that commandment. You're literally stealing the freedom from these animals, stealing their lives, stealing their existence, stealing their baby food. It's thievery. This whole disgusting industry is based on thievery, based on bestiality. Look at what your Bible says about bestiality. Look at the instructional videos put out by this disgusting industry, by the dairy industry, by the beef industry, by the poultry industry, by the salmon industry, even by the honey industry. Yeah, they're even doing this with bees. They literally sexually stimulate those male animals to get them to ejaculate, to steal their semen, to steal, again, thievery, and force that stolen semen into the vaginas of unconsenting female animals to force them to reproduce so that you can eat their babies and consume their baby's stolen baby food. No, I'm literally just stating facts. I'm literally just stating facts, people. If you're not vegan, you're literally funding bestiality. You're literally funding the sexual violation of animals. Do you actually think these animals are mating naturally? No. They are literally masturbating male animals to collect their semen for that so-called artificial insemination process, because it's the most efficient and cost-effective way of getting those animals to reproduce. And animals like turkeys and chickens physically cannot mate, even if they wanted to, even if they were allowed to. They physically cannot mate because they're bred to grow so large that physically they cannot mate. So there's even a video out by, it was on national TV several years back, Dirty Jobs. Dirty Jobs is a program hosted by Mike Rowe. Mike Rowe goes to this turkey farm, and the turkey farmer literally shows Mike Rowe how he collects semen from his male turkeys. And you can see it. You can see that episode on YouTube. If you search sucking turkey semen, that episode with Mike Rowe at that turkey farm will come up, and you will see the turkey farmer demonstrating how he collects the semen from the male turkey, where he's literally fondling him. He has a straw or tube type thing he puts to the turkey's private parts to suck the semen up as it comes out. Yeah, again, sucking turkey semen, do a search on YouTube and you'll see what I'm talking about. You're literally funding bestiality. You are literally funding the sexual abuse of animals. You're literally funding the slaughter, the mass nonstop slaughter of baby animals. And there's no excuse for it. A whole foods plant-based diet by far is the best diet for human health. And the best thing you can do right now, in the search box right here on TikTok, put 2 words in that search box: vegan recipes. You will come across endless vegan recipes right here on TikTok. Hundreds, if not thousands, of TikTokers who post vegan recipes. Scroll through some of those recipes. If you see something that looks good, click on it. Give that creator a follow. You'll see that going vegan is so easy. Vegan food is so delicious, so much better for your health, can even significantly reduce your risk of heart disease, cancer, diabetes, kidney disease, some of the most common and most deadly diseases known to man. And also go to happycow.net. Put in your city. You will find vegan and vegan-friendly restaurants in any city. Also, you can go to challenge22.com to get free resources on going vegan. PETA.org. Watch The Game Changers. Watch Eating You Alive. Watch What the Health. Watch Dominion. You can see it free if you go to dominionmovement.com or watchdominion.com. You can see it free. It's narrated by Joaquin Phoenix. Joaquin Phoenix has been vegan since he was 3 years old. And he's an animal rights activist. That the day after he gave that epic Oscar speech, where he literally just slammed the dairy industry in front of millions of people. Joaquin Phoenix, the very next day after he won his Oscar for his role in The Joker, went to a slaughterhouse and rescued a cow and her newborn calf from slaughter and sent them to Farm Animal Sanctuary to live out their lives in peace. He is an amazing person, an amazing activist, and he narrates Dominion, which you can see free if you go to dominionmovement.com or watchdominion.com. You could also watch Earthlings, Land of Hope and Glory, you know, see what's really happening. You can Google, let me see how much, I got 3 more minutes left. So you can Google undercover investigations of slaughterhouses, of factory farms, of dairy farms near where you live. Like if you live in Wisconsin, just do a search of undercover investigations of dairy farms in Wisconsin. If you live in Spain, Google undercover footage of pig farms in Spain and see what's going on in your own country, see what's going on in your own state, and you'll understand that it's so much worse than I could ever explain to you. What's happening to these animals is just atrocious, and this is happening all day, every day, for every single non-vegan product you're consuming. These animals are being put through hell, and there's no reason for it, because a whole foods plant-based diet is the best diet for human health. Just about anything and everything can be veganized. I still eat pizza. I still eat bacon. I still eat even salmon cakes. Yeah, but the plant-based versions. There's anything and everything just about can be veganized. So in the grocery stores, you know, stick with the fruits, vegetables, beans, grains, legumes, nuts, seeds. There's all kinds of plant-based burgers on the market, plant-based chicken products on the market, plant-based seafood, plant-based ice cream, plant-based milk. You can get all the nutrients you need on a plant-based diet. In fact, in case you don't know, most of the B12 supplements produced are actually given to livestock. So yeah, it makes sense just to make sure you're consuming vegan products that are fortified with B12. Like some vegan or plant-based milk products are fortified with B12. Lots of cereals are fortified with B12. And every grocery store has a supplement aisle. You could very easily pick up a bottle of B12. Just take the supplement directly instead of getting it from an animal that was given a B12 supplement, where that animal was literally tortured, forced screaming into a slaughterhouse, and you're literally increasing your risk of cancer and heart disease by eating that animal's flesh. Wake up, go vegan, and stop supporting animal abuse, because that's what you're doing. If you're not vegan, you are supporting animal abuse. That's just the fact. So stop supporting animal abuse and go vegan. And give me a follow. Please give me a follow if you care about animals. I need 10,000 followers so I can cash out the money in my balance so that I can donate that to an animal sanctuary. Like the Skylands Animal Sanctuary that just rescued that calf in New York. The calf is now safe at the Skylands Animal Sanctuary. So let's give them some money to help them out because they need it.